Hello, 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 and welcome to episode 289 of Prog Review. And if you haven't read the title description, I'm talking about The Division Bell by Pink Floyd. The actual album this time. I know I've done the 20th anniversary box set, but I'm going to actually talk about the LP itself. It was released 28th of March 1994, a couple of months before my grandfather died. 94, not a good year for me. Years with fours in very, very rarely are, but it's a Chinese thing as well. Isn't the number 4 unlucky for the Chinese? Or did I make that up? Division Bell. It was the 14th, count them, studio album by Pink Floyd. This time you've got Richard Wright back on board. He wasn't present on Momentary Lapse of Reason. But yes, you've got Gilmour, Wright and Mason as the core of the band. No Roger Waters, of course, because Roger Waters does his own thing. And I remember the 28th of March 1994. I bought my copy at our price. I think it was our price, Walthamstow, Selborne Walk. And always remember, again, my dear memory of it is having the braille on the edge of the CD box. That was a thing that stood out for me, because I'd never seen that before on a CD box. Again, this was the follow-up to A Momentary Lapse of Reason. A lot of people like that album. I quite like it. This album, again, it was very exciting. It was very exciting because it was a Pink Floyd album, and if you're a fan, very exciting thing to have in your hand. A bit like having, he says, reaching over. A bit like having this in your hand today. If you're a Floyd fan, you get excited about these things. It's exciting. Cast your mind back. Oh, it was a different time. Oh, we didn't have the internet. Well, we did, but it hadn't gone mainstream by then. It was still used by nerds and geeks and to send, mathematical jokes to each other and things. But didn't have the internet to spoil everything. Didn't have the internet to leak the album. It was pretty exciting time. The theme of the album, he said, is communication, indeed, and that's why you've got the two heads on the front talking to each other. It's not a comment on Easter Island, where Dave went on his holidays. It's about communication. Again, it's Storm Thorgerson did that iconic image, and that is reproduced and replicated, and that theme is, if you get the album, you can see there's different versions of the two heads by Mr. Thorgerson. For me, it starts off with Cluster 1, which is an instrumental track, and again, I don't like Floyd when they're noodling like that, when it's all keyboard washes and get delicate guitar. It's like the opening of Shine On You Crazy Diamond. I can't stand that either. I know a lot of people are throwing their shoes at the screen. I find that part of the Floyd a little bit boring when they do all those keyboard swirls. This is followed by What Do You Want From Me? Again, it's a bit of a clunker, it's, I'm being bothered, fame, so don't really care much for it. Again, the same can be said for Poles Apart. Poles Apart is all right. That's the one with the acoustic bit in it. I was getting mixed up. Sorry. It's about Syd Barrett, isn't it? Yeah. So, again, the shadow of Barrett looms over the proceedings. It's a nice. This one is. It's a nice track. There's some nice bits to it, but again, it's 7 minutes long. It's a bit clunky. We've done it before. Marooned is one of those sweeping instrumentals with Gilmour really hammering the whammy bar to swoop and sweep. Yeah, it picks up. It's quite good on the surround sound version. There's a video that they've made to accompany it, which is quite good, where they're running through Chernobyl. This is and that music with those visuals, it works really well. It kind of made me appreciate it again. So the 20th anniversary box set wasn't all bad. A Great Day for Freedom. Ugh, I found that a bit of a clunker. You know, just don't like it. Wearing the Inside Out. Late Richard Wright does the majority of the vocals on that one. I like it. It's again, it's the darkness and light. You need a change of pace. You need a change of tone, and that song, brings it in spades. And it works. It kind of again nods back to earlier Floyd, and I like that. Take It Back, which was I think it was the first single. I really like it, and I love the video as well, and I love the delay, waka waka waka, guitars. That's more like wah guitar there, isn't it? But I like the delay guitars in it, and I like I like it. It's a lovely big song. Again, that harks back to Momentary Lapse of Reason. It's one of those big anthemic stadium rock songs which I quite like. Coming Back to Life again is it's all right. It starts off and then it's a bit of a plodder. Keep Talking, Lost for Words is okay, and then we have High Hopes, one that everybody really likes. Dun 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 dun, and yeah, I mean it's a song about days past, longing. It's a good wind up to the album, and again, it's if this had have been the final Floyd record, I think High Hopes is a pretty good song to end on, because it kind of it kind of brings everything to a good end, if you know what I mean. As an album, it's 66 minutes long. It's too long. As again, there's a good album in here somewhere. If you knock out, Great Day for Freedom and Keep Talking, if you knock out a couple of tracks, you could probably make it a very interesting record. At the time, I liked it a lot more than I do now. Email, my iPad's in the other room. Again, because it was buoyed with that thing of it being a new Floyd album, and I remember really liking it and playing it to death. When I heard it again on the 20th anniversary box set, I'd forgotten just how laid back it was in places, and that was a nice feeling. And it's also nice to become reacquainted to it. Again, there are bits of it I like and there are bits of it I don't like. I'm glad they made the record, but it's not perfect. This is it. It's not a perfect record, and it reminds me again. It's very similar to Genesis's "We Can't Dance," where they've got a CD, they've got to fill it up. I've said this before. I'm boring you. I bore myself, but if they'd have there is a good 40 to 45 minute album in there somewhere. Really, there is. And again, if they dropped some of the bits or edited it down, you get a much stronger record. Whereas some of the stuff I just zone out. And this is what leads us to the Endless River. From these sessions comes the Endless River. So it's interesting. As an album, like I say, it's not perfect, but I'm full of good spirit for it. I'm full of good cheer. This and A Momentary Lapse of Reason. Again, some of you say, "Oh, no Roger Waters, there's no Floyd." I say, "No Syd Barrett, there's no Floyd." If you're going to be like that, I mean, we can all be arseholes, can't we? But I mean, I got a lot of fondness for both of the albums because again, they come out. It's good to be around when a Floyd album comes out. I have vague recollections of the final cut, but at that time I was just becoming a fan of the Floyd, and it's just a little bit, it was just like a memory rather than something I wanted to buy. I remember seeing it in the shops, and whereas these two, Again, with momentary lapse of reason, on the day of release, I sent my mum out with my pocket money because I had to go to school. Obviously, it was released on a Monday. Sent it to Woolworths to get me the CD, and she brought home the LP. That's mum's for you. and then, like I said, when this came out, I was 94. 94. What was I doing in 94? I do believe I was unemployable. I just left university. I was having a hard time finding a job, so I could bum around all day and, like I say, get the album. So that's what I did. I went and got the album, and that's why I kind of liked it a lot, because it was something to listen to until I finally got my first regular employment. God, they were hard times. They really were. I had a stack of job applications that high, over 120 at the last count. That's when you used to get replies. In the old days, I bet you youngsters out there, you didn't realise this, but you'd have to send your application in on a piece of paper, like this, like on a regular piece of paper, with your CV, and you say, "Dear Mr. So-and-so, I've seen your job in the paper or whatever." Blah, blah, blah. And you'd stick it down. You spend a fortune on stamps and envelopes. You'd send it off, and then maybe a week later you'd get a rejection letter. Whereas now you email them and you don't hear anything. I don't know what's worse. At least with the rejection letters, you had a trophy. And I've gone completely off the topic. So as a rating, I'm going to be generous. I'm going to give this 3.5 big old ugly heads out of 5. It's 3.5 big old ugly heads out of 5. Because again, it takes me back to a time, and like I said, there's a lot of nostalgia to the record for me. So, I'm gonna be kind to it. I could have been hypercritical and tore it to pieces, but sometimes, like it's a bit like having like an old dog. You look at your old dog and you think, well, even though he farts and smells, he's still my old dog. And that's the same with this album. This album, I remember it. I take ownership of it. It's not perfect, but it reminds me of a time. And again, this, like I said, this came out shortly before my grandfather died, and so it's kind of, in fact, God Take It Back was released on the 16th of May, 1994, which was my grandfather's birthday, and he died before that. Wow. Oh dear, now I'm getting all depressed. I miss my granddad. I miss my nan too. Miss my mum. Miss all my people. Getting maudlin now. Anyway, you don't want to see me get maudlin. It's not a pleasant sight. So I'm going to sign off. I've been Darren Locke, of course, obviously. And I've been talking about Division Bell, the 14th studio album from Pink Floyd, released 28th of March 1994. And the next review, I promise, will be The Endless River by the Pink Floyd, the 15th studio album by the Pink Floyd. Man, I bet you can't wait. I know I can't. And with that, there's only one more thing to say, and that is, prog on.